Refined carbohydrates are often seen as the bland backdrop of modern diets. White bread, pasta, and rice that fill your plate but don't scream nutritional danger. But while they don't carry the obvious purine punch of red meat or the sugar spike of soda, these fluffy, fast-digesting carbs come with a sneaky side effect. They can quietly tip the metabolic scales in favor of higher uric acid levels. If you're regularly choosing refined carbs as your staple fuel source, you may be building the perfect biochemical storm for uric acid retention, and your joints might not stay silent forever. The problem lies not in purine content, because refined carbs are actually low in purines, but in the way they impact blood sugar and insulin. Foods like white bread, white rice, and pasta made from refined flour have a high glycemic index, meaning they're digested rapidly, causing quick spikes in blood glucose. In response, your body releases a surge of insulin to mop up the sugar rush. That's not great news in general, but it's particularly bad for uric acid regulation because insulin doesn't just move sugar, it also affects how your kidneys process waste. Specifically, high insulin levels reduce the kidney's ability to excrete uric acid. They tell the kidneys, hold on to that for now, which is exactly what you don't want if you're trying to prevent gout. So while your sandwich on white bread might not seem like an immediate threat, over time, repeated insulin spikes can cause or worsen insulin resistance. That means your body starts needing more and more insulin to do the same job, and your kidneys fall further behind in uric acid elimination. You're not just feeding yourself, you're conditioning your metabolism to store up trouble. And the dangers don't stop at insulin resistance. Diets high in refined carbs often come up short in fiber, antioxidants, and anti-inflammatory nutrients, the very things that support healthy metabolism and kidney function. They're calorie-rich but nutrient-poor, meaning they can drive weight gain, increase systemic inflammation, and impair organ function all at once. It's like running a car on cheap gas. It'll go for a while, but you're gumming up the engine every mile. Compounding the problem is the fact that refined carbs rarely travel alone. They're often paired with processed meats, white bread sandwich with bacon, sugary condiments, or salty sauces that increase the overall metabolic burden. A meal built around refined carbs doesn't just increase insulin, it creates a biochemical traffic jam where purine metabolism slows down and uric acid clearance gets gridlocked. Now, none of this means you have to live in fear of pasta or swear off rice forever. But if you're dealing with high uric acid, gout, or borderline metabolic issues, it's time to rethink your carb choices. Switching to whole grains, like brown rice, quinoa, whole wheat pasta, or sprouted grain bread, can provide fiber and slower glucose absorption, keeping insulin spikes more manageable. That, in turn, helps your kidneys stay focused on their job, flushing out the uric acid rather than drowning in metabolic confusion. In short, refined carbohydrates may not set off alarms on the purine radar, but they quietly amplify the conditions that allow uric acid to build up. They're not guilty by purine content. They're guilty by association with insulin spikes, inflammation, and metabolic dysfunction. So if your daily menu looks like a beige buffet of toast, noodles, and rice with a side of, "I thought this was healthy," it might be time to invite some roughage and color back to your plate. Because gout doesn't just come from what's rich and meaty, it also loves a diet that's soft, white, and metabolically reckless.